We are welcoming back a worthy adversary, a man who's toyed and taunted the nation's best-loved detective, as well as masterminding the downfall of 007.
But we've not seen him for a while. Did you miss him?
Ladies and gentlemen. So sorry, am I interrupting?
Every fairy tale needs a good old-fashioned villain.
I'm relatable that way.
I did tell you. But did you listen?
Did you not get the message?
I gave you my number. I told you my call.
Miss me?
Of course we did. Please welcome Andrew Scott.
Good to see you, Andrew. Well, we have bigged up your villainous pedigree there.
Yes, you have.
You're kind of doing your best these days to put that bad boy image behind you.
I am, if I'm honest. Yes, yeah. It's a very, very colourful past I have, so I'm trying to be more virtuous these days.
OK.
Well, you're a nice bloke, aren't you? I mean, it's easier being a nice bloke, for you.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
And it's a real relief, actually, because you're playing Hamlet.
I am.
And for once, we can actually talk about the project.
We
because
can.
every time you come on, you go, I can't tell you anymore. It's all secret.
Exactly. No spoilers here. It's been there. We've been around for 400 years.
Yes.
So everybody knows what happens to Hamlet.
But your show is going so well that you're moving it, aren't you, into...
We did it up at the Almeida at the beginning of the year, and so we've had a 6-week break, so we're bringing it into the West End now,
Lovely.
It's been amazing,
We'll talk more about Hamlet a bit later on.
What do you think Theresa May meant by that phrase?
We can send them to jail for life, and if one of the attackers had some... And I think that's going to be quite interesting, because she's talked about this before.
One of the boards we saw being held up in the film.
We saw that in the pictures from around London Bridge.
Now then, let's talk Hamlet, right? So, we have had Olivier, haven't we? We've had Branagh, we've had Rylance.
You know where this is going.
We've had Cumberbatch.
Yes, indeed.
So how would you like people to describe the Scott Hamlet?
I just... unbelievably brilliant.
Say them. Come on up.
I think this one. I think this one is. I suppose what marks this one as unique in a sense is that we wanted it to be quite conversational.
Yes.
I think sometimes the way Shakespeare is taught at schools is sometimes we learn it like this.
The iambic.
And it's parrot fashion, isn't it?
And he does say in the play, he says, speak it, just speak it. He actually says it to his advice to the players in the play. He says, speak it trippingly on the tongue. Just speak it like the way we are having this conversation, or like we're having a conversation. So it's accessible in that sense, and it's a modern version of Hamlet, and it's quite high tech. And
is it still in kind of Shakespearean language, though?
It is, yeah, absolutely. But all writers have a certain rhythm that you have to adhere to, and particularly Shakespeare. But actually, it's very. We had a week at the Almeida Theatre where we first did it, and we for people under 25 free, and we had a week where we invited people who were under 25, and they got in for free for the whole week, which was amazing. And what's extraordinary is that it's really, really accessible. And I'm not one of those people who says you've got to force young people to come to the theatre. I think if it's good, they'll come, and if they find it boring, they won't. You know. And it's 3.5 hours. So it's...
Well, that's big for you. I mean, it's big for the audience to sit through, but it's massive for you.
But it's like we live in the box set generation now, you know, where people watch 5 hours of television, and they do because they're gripped. And if you're gripped, then you're going to watch the next episode. So we've actually got 2 intervals, so it's only really 3 hours of acting. People are just totally gripped by it, which has been amazing, and so it's wonderful that we've got...
And you've said in the past that any acting without humour in it you'd find mind-numbingly boring.
I do.
To quote Andrew Scott.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, how do you find the humour in Hamlet, then?
Well, if you have no... if there's no lightness, there's no tragedy, you know. If there's no comedy, there's no tragedy, and because that's the way life is. And he's a very witty character, Hamlet. Actually, he's a student, so he's kind of sarcastic. Not all students are sarcastic. But you know, there's actually loads of. You have to have the lightness in it, or else there's no darkness. And so yeah, there's a surprising amount of comedy in it.
And you know, when you think about those big lines that are in Hamlet, I mean, It must be. Do you every night? Do you kind of worry about them? Do you know they're coming, or do you, as you say, you just kind of throw them out there in conversation and don't worry about?
Well, yeah, we had this thing in rehearsal called the famous play buzzer, because you've got to be or not to be, and alas, poor Yorick, and all these famous lines. So you just have to go, well, what actually are they saying, and not be too reverent about them, and just. But you do get a sense sometimes when you're saying to be or not to be that people are like, oh my God.
How many times did you get buzzed in rehearsal then? Who was the most buzzed actor in the rehearsal?
Probably myself. Probably myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I was having a little chuckle because I can imagine you couldn't do it, Cash, could you? You'd try to do it, Cash, but you'd be like, "Oh, here we go! It's the big one."
It's the big one.
Where's the light? There it is.
Yeah, there's
Boom.
the light.
Yeah.
And no danger of being typecast because you're doing Steel Country, which is a big Hollywood film.
Well, yeah.
And you've spoken as well that you'd like to dip your little toe into musicals.
I would love to be in a musical. I don't know if I have got the pipes for being in a musical, but yeah, no, what I've kind of wanted to do, because Sherlock and James Bond and stuff, they were very, very kind of colourful characters, antagonists they were. So
yeah.
It's fair to say that I'm trying to do things that are a little closer to myself.
Moriarty to musicals.
What would be your ultimate musical role?
Hamlet the musical.
Something a bit heavy then, not Grease or something like that.
Something where I could sing. I can't really sing properly, so maybe something like that.
Well, you did mention Sherlock. I mean, I know you can't talk about a lot of stuff, but what do you think is more likely to happen? Another general election after the one on Thursday, or another series of Sherlock?
Well, I don't think there's another series of Sherlock coming soon, so...
Which would come first, do you think, though, out of those two?
I think the general election.
Do you?
I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, no, we're not doing it for another couple of years. I think everybody got quite busy,
Well,
and you want to keep it fresh and stuff like that.
And even if there was, he wouldn't tell us because this is the secrecy thing.
It's the secrecy.
Well, you can see Andrew in Hamlet at the Harold Pinter Theatre here in London from Friday.
Yes, now we're going to go and take you back to your roots now, Andrew. Is it right that when our team called you up beforehand and you heard that there was a Constable film on tonight, you said that when you were a kid, you had a jigsaw of the Haywain?
So I know the Haywain. I know that
it's true.
Painting, like the way the way you remember things as a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a jigsaw of the Haywain. So I know that. That
must have been
that image very well.
Many joyful hours spent doing that jigsaw.
Little nerd,
Where's the
little
wheel
nerd,
gone?
little jigsaw.
Well, I tell you what, you're in good company
yeah?
because Adibanji's a big fan too.
If you would like to see more of Constable's paintings, they are on display at the Brighton Museum until the 8th of October. Now, Andrew, interestingly, you've studied a lot of art. Your mum was an art teacher, wasn't she?
My mother was an art teacher, yeah. So I got into art school, actually, but show business took me the other way.
So why then? What was that change for you?
I don't know.
You thought Hamlet is in the offing.
Exactly. Yeah, so I do. I feel I'd love to go back to it at some point. So
that suggests that you don't do it at all now?
I do. I do a little bit. I draw people sometimes on the tube.
Because weirdly, Adibanji told us that he does that as well.
Yeah. Give them the drawing at the end so they don't feel.
What do they make of it when you then give them this sketch?
Well, I don't know. I just get off the.
You watch.
Dog sees. They go, what's this? Doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a nice way of being able to look out, and just look at other people.
And so, as a Shakespearean actor these days, then, I mean, what's your pencil choice? To be or not to be?
Somebody hit the buzzer.
That hurt.
See, I told you can't do it cash, can you?
You did it very casually, just threw it out there. That's the way you do it these days.